Good morning, and welcome to the Morning Report. My name is Willie Lawson. The Morning Report is a production of FightbackMedia.com, 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 and FightbackMediaTV.com. We're glad that you are with us today. It is a Wednesday, and it looks like it's going to rain. You know, old folks always said, we could use the rain. on rowboats outside, we surely will use a little rain. Okay, well, all right. Well, it looks like we might get a little rain here in Western Florida. Um, I'm telling you, if it wasn't for conservative media, and it wasn't for people like Paul and myself and others who let people know about certain things that are going on, but most people don't know. Because it didn't take long for Oregon to realize that decriminalizing hard drugs, bad idea, bad idea. So yesterday, Governor Tina Kotek, a Democrat, signed legislation that recriminalizes drug possession, reversing Measure 110, which 58% of voters approved in 2020. By August, however, 56% of Oregonians disapproved of a major uptick in overdose deaths and addiction in the state. Lawmakers from both parties got to work drafting legislation to reverse the measure. Here's new law. The new law is House Bill 4002, makes so-called personal use possession a misdemeanor punishable by up to 6 months in jail, and enables police to confiscate the drugs and crack down on their use on sidewalks and in parks and everywhere else. I mean, it was like Amsterdam. People were just doing drugs everywhere. Okay. It also establishes ways for treatment to be offered as an alternative to criminal penalties by encouraging law enforcement agencies to create deflection programs to spend more money that would divert people to addiction and mental health services instead of jail. The changes take place on September 1st. In signing the letter, Kotek, the governor, said that the law's success will depend on deep coordination between courts, police, prosecutors, defense attorneys, and local mental health providers, describing them as necessary partners to achieve the vision for this legislation. Oregon House Republican leader Jeff Helfrich said he supported the governor's decision, and it was crucial in the first step toward addressing the ongoing drug crisis in the state of Oregon. Republicans stood united and forced Democrats to do what Oregonians demanded: recriminalize drugs. Helfrich said, according to KEZI News. Now, here's the crazy part. The crazy part is that 58% of people in Oregon voted for this madness. I mentioned in a previous video about ballot initiatives and how a lot of activists get together to push these ballot initiatives. And and here's the deal: a lot of times the wording on these initiatives sound really good and sound like freedom, blah blah blah. But most of the time, just like most laws, the unintended consequences are never talked about. Because if you talk about the unintended consequences or what you think may be consequences, then you're just being negative and you're not being progressive and you're not blah 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 blah. Now, this this House Bill 4002, is that what it is? 002. Make sure I get that right. Yeah, it's probably not the end all, like the representative said. It's the first step, just sort of moving back to some sort of common sense, which is not all that common apparently, methodology to deal with the crisis. Now, Again, and I've said this 1,000 times, people on the right act like we can only do one thing at a time. Yes, there are people out there who need to go to treatment facilities, but you may only get to go to a treatment facility while you're incarcerated because depending on somebody who is hooked on crack, to make sure that they're out there in the world, to make sure that they take their medicine and make sure that they do all stuff that they're supposed to do while not institutionalized in some way is folly. It's folly. So yes, it's a misdemeanor, but that 6 months may be what they need in jail to get clean. So you can do both things at the same time. You don't just send somebody to a diversion program to get clean and don't change their surroundings and don't give them the wherewithal to make sure that they can make it to meetings, to make sure that they can make it to health screenings, to make sure. So sometimes you got to lock their ass up to make sure they get clean. So many addicts have said, if I had not gone to jail, I would not be clean. If I had not gone to jail, I'd be dead today. So many. But now that the governor has given the recriminalization bill her stamp of approval, we can now finally end the chapter on Oregon's experiment with decriminalizing hard drugs. Senate Republican leader Tim Knopp from Bend said, House Bill 4002 is not the perfect solution. Legislators will undoubtedly have much more work to do in the upcoming sessions. No, put people in jail and then give them the help that they need if you can, if they're willing to take it. There doesn't need to be any more legislation. There doesn't need to be any more laws. The same people who exacerbated this problem are now trying to fix it. You caused it. Go back to where you were and do the stuff that makes sense to do. We could just get them to do that. In any case, we got to get out of here and make room for somebody else. So until we see you again, go out there and learn and love somebody. And for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We'll see you when we see you. Bye bye now.